Guatemala, the country of 1,000 villages and forests, curiosities, and surprising facts. Did you know that Guatemala hides fascinating secrets about its culture, history, and nature that few people know? This small country in the heart of Central America, known for its breathtaking landscapes, Mayan ruins, and ancient traditions, has much more to offer than you might imagine. Would you like to know the most surprising facts about Guatemala that could change the way you look at this enigmatic country? In this video, we will explore some of the most curious and amazing aspects of Guatemala. From its age-old traditions to its stunning natural landscapes, you'll discover why it's known as the country of 1,000 villages and forests. But before we continue, I want to know, did you know that Guatemala is home to more than 30 active volcanoes? Are you surprised that more than 20 Mayan languages are still spoken in this country? Leave us your comments and share your opinion as we take you on a tour of this incredible country. Guatemala, a small country in the heart of Central America, holds within it a rich history, dazzling landscapes, and a vibrant culture that few other nations can offer. While many know it for its impressive Mayan heritage, coffee, and vibrant biodiversity, there are a number of facts and curiosities that might surprise you about this fascinating place. On this tour, you will discover amazing facts about Guatemala, a country where the 1,000 villages and forests seem to tell stories of ancient times and traditions that are still alive in every corner. One of the first things one may notice upon arriving in Guatemala is its geographic diversity. This country is blessed with a topography that changes dramatically over short distances. From the peaceful coasts to the high mountains of the Altos Cumbres, Guatemala has it all: rainforests, mist-shrouded mountains, crystalline lakes, and towering volcanoes. In all, Guatemala has more than 30 volcanoes, many of which are still active. The Fuego volcano, for example, is one of the most active in Central America, constantly spewing lava and smoke, giving the region a mystical aspect. Guatemala's biodiversity is also impressive. In a relatively small territory, the country is home to more than 200 species of mammals, more than 700 species of birds, and nearly 12,000 species of plants. This diversity has made Guatemala a paradise for ecotourists and biologists. The country is home to a wide variety of ecosystems, from tropical rainforests to arid zones. In fact, the country has several natural reserves and national parks, which are fundamental for the preservation of unique species. The Maya Biosphere Reserve, in the north of the country, is one of the largest and contains a myriad of endemic species. In terms of population, Guatemala has about 19 million inhabitants, but what is really striking is the enormous cultural diversity it possesses. In this country, there are more than 20 recognized indigenous groups, each with its own language, customs, and traditions. Although Spanish is the official language, more than 20 Mayan languages are still spoken in various regions. Among the most widely spoken languages are Kich, Keki, and Mam. The indigenous population, which represents more than 40% of the total, keeps alive ancestral customs, such as traditional celebrations, textile art, and millenary agricultural practices. One of the most fascinating features of Guatemala is its Mayan heritage. More than 3,000 years ago, the Maya began to establish their civilization in what is now Guatemala, and left a legacy that we can still see today. Archaeological sites such as Tikal, Uxactan, and El Mirador are some of the most impressive in the region. Tikal, in particular, is famous for its majestic pyramids towering above the rainforest, and is considered one of the largest urban centers of the classic Maya civilization. Tikal was declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1979, and today attracts thousands of tourists every year. However, it is only one of many sites in Guatemala that still hold secrets to be discovered. Despite its size, Guatemala is a country with a complex geopolitical history. It was colonized by the Spanish in the 16th century and for almost 300 years was part of the Spanish Empire. After independence from Spain in 1821, Guatemala went through a series of political changes, including periods of instability and military dictatorships. In the 1960s, the country entered into a civil war that lasted more than 30 years, until the signing of the peace accords in 1996. This conflict left deep scars, but it also allowed the emergence of a generation of Guatemalans determined to rebuild their country and preserve their traditions. Guatemalan gastronomy is another cultural treasure that not many know about. Although corn is the fundamental ingredient in almost every meal, the country's cuisine is extremely diverse, with a mixture of indigenous and Spanish influences. A typical dish is pepián, a thick stew of meat or chicken with a sauce made of tomatoes, chiles, pepitas, and spices. Another favorite is cacique, a spicy turkey soup, which is common in the highlands region. In addition, tamales, made with corn dough filled with meat, vegetables, or even chocolate, are an essential element in festivities and celebrations. Coffee, one of Guatemala's most emblematic products, also plays an important role in the country's economy and culture. Guatemala is known for producing high-quality coffee, especially in the mountainous regions, where the climate and soil are ideal for the crop. Guatemalan coffee is exported all over the world, and many consider it to be one of the best on the planet. In fact, Guatemala ranks 10th in world coffee production. The country's coffee farms are visited by thousands of tourists every year who seek to learn about the cultivation process and enjoy a cup of coffee in its place of origin. Tourism in Guatemala has grown significantly in the last decades, and it is not difficult to understand why. In addition to its incredible nature and biodiversity, the country has a rich tradition of art and music. Guatemalan marimba players are famous for their skill and have brought the marimba, a percussion instrument, to a level of international recognition. Festivities, such as Holy Week in Antigua, Guatemala, are another of the country's great attractions, with colorful parades and elaborate sawdust carpets covering the streets. The health system and education, while improving in recent years, remain major challenges for the country. Poverty remains the major concern, and many Guatemalans struggle to access basic health, education, and housing services. Despite these challenges, Guatemala remains a country full of hope and resilience. Communities are organizing and working to improve their quality of life, while preserving their traditions and rich cultural heritage. Guatemalans are known for their hospitality and kindness. If you ever have the opportunity to visit this beautiful country, you will quickly realize how welcoming its inhabitants are. It is common for travelers to feel at home, whether in a small village in the highlands or in the bustling city of Guatemala City. Human warmth is undoubtedly one of Guatemala's greatest treasures. In short, Guatemala is much more than a tourist destination. It is a country full of history, culture, and nature in every corner. From its majestic volcanoes to its ancient Mayan ruins, to the friendliness of its people and its incredible biodiversity, Guatemala is a country that continues to surprise those who visit it and those who are lucky enough to call it home. If you ever have the opportunity to visit it, I assure you that you will take away memories and experiences that you will not find anywhere else in the world. Guatemala is a melting pot of cultures and traditions that have been kept alive through the centuries. One of the most interesting aspects is the vibrant indigenous life that still survives in the country. In rural villages, women still wear the traditional hupil dresses, which are an expression of identity and the history of each community. The hupils are handmade with ancestral techniques, and each design reflects unique symbols and patterns that represent mythological stories, historical events, or elements of nature. The colors also have a specific meaning, depending on the region or village to which they belong. Traditional Guatemalan music has a rich heritage, with the marimba as one of its most emblematic instruments. This percussion instrument, made of wood and metal, is considered the musical soul of the country. Its joyful and melodic sound resonates in popular celebrations and festive events. In many towns, the marimba accompanies religious processions, and it is not uncommon to hear it at birthday parties or weddings. Guatemala has a wealth of talented marimba players, some of whom have taken the country's music to international stages. One of the most fascinating places to explore is Guatemala City's Central Market, a hive of colors, smells, and sounds. In this bustling market, visitors can find everything from fresh produce such as fruits, vegetables, and herbs to textiles and handmade crafts. Markets in Guatemala are more than just centers of commerce. They are spaces where ancestral traditions are preserved, such as the bartering of products and the exchange of stories between generations. Each market has its own atmosphere and is an excellent opportunity to immerse yourself in the daily life of Guatemalans. Guatemala is also famous for its Holy Week, which is celebrated with a devotion that is unique in the world. Processions wind through the streets of cities such as Antigua, where participants create carpets of dyed sawdust, flowers, and other materials that cover the streets through which the procession will pass. These carpets are not only a display of creativity, but also an expression of the faith of Guatemalans. Holy Week in Antigua is so impressive that it has been declared intangible cultural heritage of humanity by UNESCO. The city of Antigua, in addition to being a center of religiosity, is an architectural jewel. Founded in 1543, Antigua was the capital of the Kingdom of Guatemala and one of the most important urban centers of colonial America. Today, its cobblestone streets and buildings of colonial Baroque architecture, such as the Church of La Merced, attract thousands of tourists each year. Antigua is also known for its vibrant nightlife and gastronomy, which offers both traditional dishes and culinary innovations that blend indigenous and European flavors. A curious fact about Guatemalan culture is the use of Mayan codices, which are ancient manuscripts in which the Maya recorded their events, astronomy, and mythology. Although many of these codices were destroyed during colonization, some have survived and are preserved in museums and private collections. These codices are a window into the past, and scholars continue to decipher their complex hieroglyphs. In addition, Guatemala is home to the Popol Vuh Museum, which preserves important vestiges of Mayan civilization, including stele and pottery. Guatemalan cuisine also has its own peculiarities. Although corn is the basis of most dishes, the country has a great variety of soups, tamales, and stews that vary according to the region. In western Guatemala, for example, people enjoy jocan, a chicken stew with a green sauce made from cilantro, tomato, and chiles. In the Altiplano region, cacique, a turkey broth, is very popular, especially on holidays. Guatemalan food is simple but full of flavor, using fresh, local ingredients. In addition, Guatemalan tamales are unique, with fillings ranging from meat, beans, to fruits such as plantains. In Guatemala, the Catholic religion plays a fundamental role in daily life. However, indigenous spirituality is also deeply rooted in the beliefs of many communities. In some regions of the country, people practice syncretism, a fusion of Christianity and Mayan traditions. During certain days of the year, Guatemalans participate in rituals that combine Catholic prayers with Mayan ceremonies, such as offerings to the Ajay, guardians of time, a practice in which they thank nature and the elements for their abundance. A curious aspect of Guatemalan culture is the importance of holy days in the calendar. Many villages maintain their own religious and non-religious festivities related to the harvest, nature, or patron saints. For example, in Santiago Atitlan, festivities are held in honor of St. James, which include dances, music, and processions. In addition, indigenous festivities, such as the Day of the Cross, are a transcendental event that marks the beginning of the agricultural season in some villages. The Zacamil and Rebalsos are two unique climatic phenomena in Guatemala. The Zacamil is a strong wind that blows from Lake Atitlan towards the Panajacal Valley, and is believed to have healing properties, as many people come to the region to be purified by these winds. On the other hand, the Rebalsos is a torrential rain that occurs at certain times of the year, which transforms the landscape and creates impressive waterfalls. These phenomena are part of the natural magic that surrounds the country. Guatemalans are also known for their love of dance, especially at festivities marking the change of seasons or celebrating historical events. Folkloric dances, such as the Baile del Venado, deer dance, or masked dances, are an integral part of the cultural identity of many peoples. In these dances, mythological figures, animals, and legendary heroes are represented, mixing indigenous rhythms with colonial influences. One of Guatemala's most emblematic monuments is the Tree of Peace, located in Guatemala City. This tree was planted in 1996 to commemorate the signing of the peace accords that ended more than 30 years of civil war. It is a symbol of reconciliation and hope for a country that has gone through difficult times. The tree, a majestic ceiba, has become a place of reflection and is considered one of the most significant meeting points in the city. When touring Guatemala, one cannot help but marvel at the friendliness of its people. Guatemalans are known for their hospitality and warmth, making travelers feel welcome at all times. Whether in the mountains of the West or on the warm Pacific coast, there is always a smile and a helping hand. It is this warmth that makes Guatemala a destination not only full of history and nature, but also of humanity. Guatemala's cultural richness is alive in every corner of the country. From its rural villages to the big cities, each town has its own character, its own flavors, rhythms, and colors. Throughout the year, Guatemalans celebrate their festivities with fervor, and each of these moments is an opportunity to share and celebrate the identity of this unique country. Guatemala, with its history, its people, and its landscape, is a jewel that always leaves a deep impression on those who visit it. If this video has surprised you and you want to continue exploring more fascinating facts about Guatemala and other amazing places in the world, don't forget to subscribe to the World in Evolution channel. By doing so, you will be aware of all our updates about the world and curiosities you never imagined. Also, if you are looking for even more valuable information on how to improve your life and knowledge, visit our website selfmatamillionaires.online, where you will find exclusive resources that will help you grow personally and professionally. Don't miss out.